A raid in Kafr al-Labad, Benjamin Wright reports.
Shalabi and her husband were attempting to flee escalating violence when they were attacked.
An Israeli army reservist, Yuval Vagdani, had to abandon his vacation in Brazil after a pro-Palestinian legal group prompted a federal judge to open a war crimes investigation against him. Joseph Eckerson with the latest.
Vagdani is accused of participating in the demolition of civilian homes in Gaza.
The Massachusetts Supreme Judicial Court has ruled that Karen Ridd can be retried on charges related to the death of her Boston police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe. The FBI announced the discovery of 2,400 new records related to the assassination of former President John F. Kennedy. Kevin Sanders reports.
These records are being transferred to the National Archives for declassification.
The opinions expressed on this program are those of the host or guest and should not be interpreted as statement of fact. Independent fact-checking and corrections are encouraged.
Yeah. We got a cup of coffee in here, please.
Hello. On?
Damn good coffee. And hot.
Fuckity.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Fuckity. Oh, sorry.
My dog is your mind's best friend.
Oh.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with a Dog. You make me laugh.
All right. Go ahead, laugh. I'm making you laugh. Go ahead. Laugh. Oh, my finger's not loaded. Boy. I'll just wait here. See if things touch up again. Good morning. Wait now. It's ringing out. Good morning.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right.
Fucking. You're not supposed to say fucking or fuck or F within the first 7 seconds of a live stream, or YouTube gets upset. I think I said it already 300 times today. Fuckity fuck. Good morning, fuckity fuckers. It feels like Thursday, February 13th, 2025. We are in a full-blown constitutional crisis. Constitution. I gotta have an envelope to why this is not the Constitution. It's not even the Constitution. Constitutional crisis. And the reason I know this is because it was said from the presidential podium by Bibi Barbo, the latest blonde bubblehead. I don't even know what her name is. I knew her name, but I don't know her name. But it doesn't matter what her name is. They're all replaceable. Get me another blonde bimbo and just stick her up there. But what she said was, the media is using scare tactics to tell the people that we are in a constitutional crisis of the president's making, when really we are in a constitutional crisis of the judicial system's making. Now, let's be clear about this. It doesn't matter who the fuck made it, even though the president did make it. But that doesn't matter. If we're in a constitutional crisis, what is GD going to say every time I say we're doomed? You can't say the Constitution. I'm getting a phone call. Oh, it's the Constitution. Yeah, I know you can't hear me, and I don't care if you can hear me. Well, you can hear me, but I can't hear you. So I'm just yelling the Constitution. Oh, you hung up on me, you bastard. Anyway, what is GD going to say when I say we're doomed? He's not going to say, oh, the Constitution. He's going to say, oh, the crisis, or whatever. Anyway, America's doomed. That's what we wanted. That's what we got. I hope you're happy. Now, Pentagon is releasing Nazi-like war prep films. They're getting the hawks all riled up. Remember, a lot of these imbecile Trump supporters. Oh, he's the peaceful guy. There weren't any wars while he was. There were wars while he was president. He didn't get us out of Afghanistan, by the way, and he made Afghanistan worse for us to get out of. But you know, I think the book there, what is the Bible, as Ron Kane would say, on page 87 of the Bible, it says something about he will come as a man of peace. Actually, it's way past page 87. It's all in the back in that the part about with the 7 horns and whatever. But he was going to lie and tell people he's about peace. He's never been about peace. They're hawking up, and they're getting ready. And what's going to happen? I got to predict this because I am dead on. I'll be right, but I will be dead. But you can come to my little wherever they put me urn. They might just put me in a flower pot. Or a pot flower, and you could just come there and say, thank you for predicting right, that we would just meet our doom exactly like the Nazis we aspire to be like. It's exactly what we're doing. We are building up for World War IV just so we can get crushed by the world, because that's what Nazis do. So are you happy? Is this a good day for you? Are you excited now? Did I get you motivated to do your best on this Thursday morning as you drive to your shitty little cubicle job, where you just kind of listen to people talk about things and make you do things that are just to make more rich people richer, while you get the same paycheck that you've gotten for the last 50 years or whatever you got in it, and they keep taking money out that they're not going to give you back. Are you happy? Am I uplifting you? Am I elevating you? Like Daily High Club elevates you to a new game. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Joe Rogan's an idiot. We knew that. Joe Rogan, now I'm enjoying the Joe Rogan bashing. A couple of the people who used to be friends of his, used to be in his inner circle, are just saying Joe Rogan's brain is the fucking fried chicken. Yeah, give me a leg. He seems to really believe that if you have money, if you have Elon Musk type money, you don't care about money. You don't get Elon Musk type money unless you care an awful lot about money. Unless money is your only motivation in life. That's the only way you get that kind of money. And you could be born with a emerald mine or not, but you're not going to get whatever he's worth, whatever he has, if you don't care about money. Oh, people are worried about he's going to steal that, and he doesn't care. He's got more money. He's an evil motherfucker. Plain and simple. Even his kid knows that. Yeah. So my message for a Thursday morning, just to uplift you and lift your spirits, to elevate you to a new smoking game, is we're doomed.
With humble East Coast beginnings in 2015, Daily High Club is the premier destination for glass water pipes, vaporizers, and consumption accessories. If you're looking to elevate your smoking game to the next level, you're in the right place. With over 1 million top-quality smoking products sold, and with a growing base of over 10,000 monthly subscribers worldwide, we deliver the ultimate smoking experience. But Daily High Club is not just a retailer, we're lovers of the smoking scene ourselves, working with giants like Tommy Chong, Snoop Dogg, Chanel West Coast, and more. Ready to join the Daily High Club? Let our experts curate your collection with our awesome El Primo monthly subscription box, or grab one of our fun and unique pieces from our smoke shop. Click the link in the description below this video to get this party started now.
I should get this party started now. Ladies and gentlemen, in the room with me right now are Stephen, the doomed sitcom, Ron, the fuck you doom motherfuckers, Kane, and GD. I got a red background, Fenderson.
Good morning, America. MindDogTV.com. Whether you want to pop that special question to that special person or special someone on that special day, or you just want to pop that special cherry.
Oh, I want to pop that question
on that special day.
Today's a special day. I'd like to pop that special question to you. Would you drop dead? Okay. I'm done. Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. I interrupted you. That was rude of me. But I just felt compelled. You're not going to drop dead? Oh, he dropped dead. Oh, that's terrible. No, we're going to have to cancel the show.
GD, come back. You're the only one I need.
I feel remorseful now.
Sending your parents a letter. Tell them you're a whore.
Oh.
Now, what are we going to do without GD? You guys know another black guy?
He's the only one I got.
I know a few, but they have bullet wounds.
And just for you.
Kids look like retards.
All right. Wow, that's a new retard.
Good, Alex Jones.
Your kids look like retards.
Premiering this morning on the show, the new retard clip. Oh, come back, GD. I'm sorry. I apologize. You want to start over? No. No, he's not. He doesn't even know he's back. Does he know he's back? He quit? He quit.
Hi, GD.
He doesn't know what he's doing, does he?
Hey.
Are you there? Are you there?
Since Elizabeth is coming on the show, I have a clip here that's perfect for her.
All right, play the clip that's perfect.
I hope you guys seen this yesterday because it's only 12 seconds, and
does it involve a booger?
To restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? To restore democracy. This may.
If you don't know what Elon's son was saying, he said, "You are not the president, and you need to go away."
Who was he talking to, though? They say he was talking to Trump, but was he talking to his father, or was he talking to Trump?
He was talking to. He was looking right at.
To restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? To restore democracy. This may seem.
Look how pissed Trump got. He was like, he looked at him and was like, "Oh, if you were 5 years older, I'd beat the shit out of you."
I think he dropped the F-bomb on him too at one point. That's not in that clip, but
yeah. And I have the entire clip, and I went back to look at the clip to make sure, like, maybe someone was messing around or some shit. But no, his kid is there doing that. And Steven sent out that video yesterday talking about how Trump was basically cuckolded.
Yeah.
It's like all of the not all, but some of the major news sources are like, look how powerless Trump looks. He doesn't look like the president right now. He looks like the guy that sits next to the president. Like, it's ridiculous.
I have a Trump supporter that would definitely like to say something about
this. Is how a remedy is crumble cookie. Oh yes, just like that crumble. Crumble cookie.
Kid don't look old enough to vote.
Yeah.
Now what happened with GD? Did I break GD? I broke him, didn't I? Did I break him? GD, you there?
GD, are you okay?
GD? Is GD home?
GD has no sound.
See, I should have never said that to him. I broke his ears.
The truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
Are these all new Alex Jones clips?
Yeah.
The truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
I did not know
I'm right about all of it, you know it.
Looked like Colonel Mike was with us in the chat room there. Said Pat Bondi. It was Pam Bondi, but no, that's not who I was talking about. It was a Caroline Levitt Bimbo or whatever her name is. But it doesn't matter. They're all interchangeable. If you don't know, New York State has been charged with a crime. So I don't know what the crime we did, but I guess I should report to jail. She's indicted New York State, the governor, prosecutors.
How do you what?
Yeah, no, she charged New York State with I don't know, malicious prosecution or something like that. Because Trump was indicted in New York. The DOJ has indicted New York State. That means me? Do I?
Yes. Yeah, you're fucked.
That's going to need a pretty big jail cell.
Well, that's what Guantanamo Bay is for.
I think you're right.
They're going to lock up the whole state.
You still don't hear us, do you?
GD.
He's going to enjoy this. He's going to enjoy this program. He's just going to. So Elizabeth is going to be with us, and I'm curious how you become a stand-up agitator.
Did you send her a link?
Yeah, I sent her a link.
Okay.
Why, you don't think I would send her a link?
No, I never said that. Now, you silly bitch. No, I was just making sure that that she got.
Well, she's already later. She's already later than you said she was going to be. I should check my Facebook where she.
I know. I'm messaging her now.
You're messing with her?
Well, because I asked her. She got back to me at 7.
I don't care. Whenever she gets here, she gets.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
The fact that you lied to me. You said she would be here at 9:15.
At 7:14 this morning, she messaged me and said 9:15. I said, "Okay, see you there," and she sent me a thumbs up.
She's from Maryland. I believe that's a Pacific time zone, right? Maryland.
I don't know, but I think Maryland, we're all Eastern time zone, right?
Maryland's Pacific time zone. It's
Maryland's not Pacific.
If it covers the White House, it's the American time zone. Get it right.
All right, I'm sorry.
The truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
I got.
Return of the Frog's gay.
You know, the funniest thing is happening. When I fart now, it sounds like Alex Jones. See?
Oops.
Last night I had a guest who's a no-show. Second time he's a no-show. I haven't checked his like midnight he sent me an email, I guess, explaining. I haven't checked his explanation. But second time he stood me up. But this is a guy who does personality tests, personality type evaluations. And there's an assessment that he makes you take. And I took the assessment and it says I'm a humpback whale.
We know. No, you're an otter. Don't lie to us.
It did say no. It didn't say otters. It said beavers and bears as part of the personality types, but no otters in there. But
she said the sign-in is sending her in a loop.
Oh, because she's got the app, right?
I'm asking her now.
Yeah, of course. This app, whatever StreamYard did with this app. You think GD's just going to sit there and not hear us the whole time and not like restart his computer or do whatever he does?
GD, can you hear me?
How about send him something in the private chat? I'll do it. I'm on it.
Yeah, she has the app. She's deleting it now.
That's not a fair thing to say about the lovely Queen Elizabeth.
Like was better than sex.
The app. GD, can you hear us?
GD, can you hear me? You don't even know what that's a reference to, do you?
Father, can you hear me?
Tommy, can you hear me?
Oh, is it Tommy?
The pinball wizard kid.
See, I only know it again from parodies. Like I think last time I heard it was Austin Powers. Yeah, it was when Goldmember's dying. He was like, "Faja, can you hear me?" And then died.
Yeah, GD, can you hear us? Shake your head yes, or nod your head, or do a circular thing, meaning we don't know what you're saying. No. I said, why don't you restart? He said, why? Like, what the hell? I was just kidding. I didn't want you to drop dead. I'm sorry I said that. All right? Just fucking don't ever be like a bitch and don't ever forgive me.
Guys, I've had way too much coffee this morning. I'm jacked up.
He came here bringing love. And I shot him down because he was bringing love. I'm not down with the whole love thing.
You have to be down with love a little bit, Matt.
I do.
Yes, a little bit. Because even though you hate waking up and you hate doing the show,
I hate
you
everything.
still love hanging out with us.
Yeah. I hate everything. I hate everything.
Unfortunately, I can hear you. Then why aren't you talking, you some bitch?
Me? Oh, he can hear us?
He said he can.
Oh, he's just being quiet. Just being a mute.
GD,
I said I
stop.
was sorry. Stop being a little bitch about it. Come on.
GD, I
Come
can't live
on.
without
I don't know what I'm being a bitch about. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Elizabeth's
You're giving
here.
us the silent treatment. We've been asking.
I'm not giving you the silent treatment. I was talking and then you started talking, so I stopped to listen. Because I didn't hear what you said, to be honest.
Oh.
I
didn't hear what you said. I saw you point and said, "What? I'm gonna get you up," and that's all I heard. So I stopped, so I could hear you.
I should make a special proposition on a special day, or something.
And so I didn't hear what you said, and I stopped. I shut up so I could hear you talking. Because obviously you didn't want to hear what I was saying because you talked over me. So I shut up so I could hear you. I was being
Your Honor, I
polite,
would
motherfucker.
like permission to treat their witness as hostile.
Got your hostility right here.
He sounded like Sam Jackson for a second.
No,
That's what I call schlong
You're very
division.
rude. You're all being very rude because Queen Elizabeth is here. We should. Do we have? What is it? Hail to the
I just
Queen?
thought boomers were having technical problems again.
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. I was just setting up to be quiet to
say
listen.
that word boomer one more time, and I'm going to fart like Alex Jones. All right.
The truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
I know it.
Right, because I'm right about all of it. You know it. Love that.
Elizabeth Croydon is a star of stage, film, screen, and she's a political agitator of the
And my
first class, of the
dreams.
highest class. She now is starring on a one-woman Broadway show called Askin' Raskin, or maybe not. She's here with us now. Say hello to our friend Queen Elizabeth. Do we have royal music to play when she comes on?
You must be the Monopoly guy.
That's
God
close
damn it,
enough.
Ron. You took it right out of my hands. I was about to play that.
You may. I love a fanfare, early
So-
or late.
How do I become a first-class political agitator? I don't understand the pathway
Wait,
to that career.
did you say become a first ass political agitator?
No, I'm already a first ass guy.
Okay.
I'm a donkey too, Matt. Democrats all the way.
All right. I didn't even make that association.
Oh, amen. Hey, women. Shout out to Donk Connects on Blue Sky. Wasabi.
Well, here's the thing, though. Matt's not a donkey. He's a donkey.
Yeah,
I
donkey.
don't know the difference.
Well, the difference is
donkeys
the
are from
way I
Long
pronounce it. It's a New York. It's a Long Island pronunciation.
Oh, a donkey? Donkey? I
Donkey
can't wait
because-
to come to Long Island. It's a subculture I'm not familiar with in New York. I gotta go at some point.
Pronounce
And
the
ride a
word
donkey.
Monkey. Monkey.
And then is it Donkin Donuts?
Yeah.
I thought so.
Well, yeah.
It's monkey, right? So you replace the M with a D, and what do you get? Donkey.
Monday.
All right.
No, it's not. It's not. It's Monday.
I can't win.
Hello.
Jamie Raskin's a big get.
I love Jamie. Jamie. He is so on point right now. That guy is on fire. Jamie, aka the Professor, is fighting the fight that he was born to fight. I absolutely believe in his victory on behalf of all of us. And the man is so generous with his knowledge. I had breakfast with him Monday morning through a breakfast club in Montgomery County, and then with some judges and some senators and Holly Joseph, who was at my trial when my trial concerning a little something about interrupting Ted Cruz from the Senate gallery. And then I wore shackles and I faced insurrectionist charges. So she and her husband host this club. Jamie has all of the political agitators in his district, even the Capitol Police. We got Fanone up in our house. And what's up, Mike Fanone? And he spent about 2 hours with us, and he spoke nonstop for about an hour in this fluid Latin poetry of law. The man is a Mozart of democracy. He is the lead Democrat on the Judiciary Committee. So he is the one who is handling all of the amicus briefs. He's handling all of the temporary restraining orders. And may I just say, I think after the latest temporary restraining order was held up that the federal government put on Trump, I now think that the federal government has exceeded me in temporary restraining orders, which is a difficult thing to do after 20 years of dealing with stalkers. But I am proud that they are not taking abuse.
Well, I love Raskin too, but I think the Democratic Party. I know you just said you are a Democrat. I'm not. I'm an independent, but I feel like the Democrats were the only hope of saving this piece of shit country.
Yeah, well, that's why I'm Democrat right now, is because I've been exceedingly frustrated with my family's party. And, you know, they did change candidates. I was not going to vote blue with Biden at the helm. And I know that upsets some people, but you know what? Having two misogynists run as president upsets me. And when this alleged equal rights amendment that was supposedly published, or made law. I mean, for 5 years, my organization, Equal Means Equal, or rather the organization that I affiliate, because really I'm a protest of one. I'm an anarchist and I work with numerous groups. But Equal Means Equal has been using the language that the Equal Rights Amendment is law for 5 years. The problem is it's not formal, and the law is very formal. So the Democrats are like, oh, by the way, before we let the fascists take over, everybody has equal rights. Go out and file your court cases. No. There's nothing in print. He could have. We sued Biden. All Biden did was acknowledge that it is law, but it's not enforceable until it's in print. That is the rub. So all he did by declaring it the law of the land, which is the legal term for the body of laws in our Constitution, was say the same thing we've been saying for 5 years, and we cannot necessarily expect it enforced unless it was published. And all Biden had to do, since he's a self-proclaimed supporter of women for the last 50 years, is invoke 1 U.S. Code subsection 106B. And then the archivist has to publish. I don't even know why, you know, the papers spun it so we can believe that Biden was an actual feminist and not some servant to the oligarchy. You know, the Democrats will make more money giving us back less rights and by allowing us to have them taken away. And all of these Democratic female activists who did not push it to the point of publication, and maybe that was just Biden, and they're trying to put lipstick on a pig and make it look good and protect the LGBTQIA and women as much as possible for the next 4 years, since some of us are already being dehumanized. All he had to do was invoke that, and the newspapers have been that code of law. The newspapers have been painting it as though it's the archivist who refuses to publish. Well, that lady has been hired by Biden, sitting around with her hands on her on her donkey, right? Waiting to write this one sentence that is finally ratified and agreed to be in the publication, but she can't write it. It's not her job. It's not her job to think that Congress has to do more, that we have to listen to the senators talk. We have been able to publish this law for the last 5 years. So when Joe Biden says that he's been supporting women for the last 50 years, I'd really like the old man to explain why we had to sue him twice. And his DOJ still did not publish the 28th Amendment.
Well, his DOJ It was the lamest organization ever. They had one job and they failed completely.
Merrick Garland, I'm very disappointed in Merrick right now and his contribution to the way things are. But I'm in the Democratic Party. Yeah, I'm owning it. I went out, I bought a blue fleece. We are on the front line of this fight. I am in Jamie Raskin's district. If I have to go to start showing up at Democratic meetings and teaching these people how to think and fight like radicals, I will. And I'll couch it in homogenized terms. But I'm not watching my friends being rounded up and sent to Gitmo. There's already a congressman who has put in, we've already seen private paramilitary soldiers in Washington, D.C., blocking federally elected officials, as I understand it from my sources out of the DOE, Maxine Waters, etc. The paramilitaries in question have been identified as Triple Canopy, which was a organization that protected just corporate people. And then Blackwater, who has changed their name to something else now. I don't know if any of you gentlemen know it. Blackwater absorbed that group, but they've maintained their little name for their little unit. Right. And they're running
What's
around.
Their name? Didn't they change it to G or something like that? XI?
What, Blackwater? I don't know what Blackwater changed it to.
I thought they changed their name to G, XI, but I'll check it. I'll Google it.
I thought they were changing their name to the SS.
Funny. I got that. That is so funny. Yes, well, speaking of SS, a congressman, I forget the name. I have it on my text, but that doesn't help us right now. Congressman has introduced a resolution for 2025 that will allow Trump to hire private security to arrest cartel-like groups. So I don't know if the Antifa Social Gardening Club is in fact a cartel, but we are, intending to merchandise at some point. Very concerning about that, and really concerned that Trump was mad that ICE hadn't arrested a number of people. Usually the police that I affiliate with, they're really happy when they don't have a hard day and they don't have to scrape blood off of the ground or get out the rape kits. They are delighted when they don't have to arrest anyone.
They want to arrest the New York governor of New York, Kathy Hochul, and Letitia James and people like that, and New York State.
Get the National Guard. Have the National Guard round her up on the subway.
Yeah. But at the same token, it's like, why can't people just say both parties are a failure, an absolute failure on both ends? The Democrats had their chance, and basically all they did is just fist themselves for the past couple of years. And
I think it is really the individual that is the failure. I think all of these people who have looked at politics as a road to profit have corrupted themselves, because once you, just like Trump, once you begin to corrupt yourself, he was born into corruption, so he's an expert at it. But once you corrupt yourself, it's very difficult to uncorrupt yourself.
Yeah.
As we all know, or I do at any rate. I'm a reformed smoker.
Go corrupt yourself.
Go corrupt yourself.
Yeah.
Take some bribes. Can you take some bribes already? Everyone else is doing it. Why can't I?
Right. Now, I think Ron, I agree with Ron. Listen, I was never a Democrat, but I was hoping that they would put the dagger in the vampire's heart and put him to death but it seemed like Biden thought his job was just to win the 2020 election, and after that, everything would be fine. Like, hello, there's still work to be done. That's the beginning of burying this stuff. But
I think this is.
I think the only way this resolves itself is the way it resolved itself in 1945.
I before we go to World War II and violence, I really liked what someone said on Blue Sky, which is my new happy place where I get a lot of information in one stream. He was saying that part of the problem are these strategists on both sides, but we are looking at it from a Democrat and further to the left than the Democratic Party's perspective. But these strategists that just trace popular opinion instead of creating new architects of media communication messaging. They really need to be pushing the movement forward instead of following the people. Well, popular opinion says that people really care a lot about the prices of the Super Bowl food they're eating, even though Elon Musk has all of their social security numbers and is jacking this country by the balls. I don't think anyone cared about how much their pizza cost by Super Bowl Sunday. I think we were all terribly interested in what Elon Musk was doing with every single one of our social security numbers. Now he has information from NIH that involves all of our people's health records. There are 6,000 FBI agents, and I mean, civil servants that are just crunching numbers behind a desk and going home to their kids, that have been let go and excused because they were involved in the January 6th investigations. And now all of these violent criminals are pardoned from attempting to commit treason in this country, and looking for something to do, looking for volunteer work. And a lot of those people are in my county and are my neighbors. And
a lot of them are doing volunteer work by sexually assaulting young girls or something. It seems like.
Did you notice that? A lot of rapists in this cabinet. Lot of sex offenders up in this cabinet. None of them came around door to door to explain they were sex offenders to our neighborhood. I feel that I was owed that explanation, but I had to do my own research. No, I don't know.
Rapist in the Cabinet is a really weird sequel title to Indian in the Cupboard. Did not see that on my 2025.
You know what I didn't see on my 2025 apocalyptic dance card was a 19-year-old hacking the Treasury Department. I mean, I should have, because War Games, right, with Matthew Broderick back in the day was the first hack nightmare. But I didn't see it. I call that guy Beavis. I'm very impressed with those little delinquents.
So, do you think World War III is actually going to be a hackathon? Because Anonymous has come back and threatened Elon's Geek Squad. That sounds like an interesting. How does it affect me? The war of it will affect me. Just how? But the war of these nerds counter hacking each other. It just seems like an interesting thing that nobody has ever experienced before.
I don't know that we have. I don't know that we haven't experienced it before, Matt. For the last couple of elections, since I worked on organized the inaugural protest against George Bush and looked at the hanging Chads, and then watched all the documentaries like Hacking America to see just how easy it is to hack these voting machines. I'm assuming that while we do need people to turn out, and that it's very important that we do. And I'll tell you, sure as shit, there were a lot of cabinet Trump lovers in Montgomery County District 8 that crawled out of their non-voting closet of alcoholism, got their gun, put it in their car, wore their Vietnam vet jackets to the voting booth, and called me a cunt when I was trying to park because they just smelled the feminism. But where was I?
I don't know.
I'll tell you this. I like that Jamie Raskin is looking at not just going after Trump, but going after Elon Musk and his merry band of teenage mutant ninja commie hackers for Putin, as aiders and abettors in all of these things that we are filing. That's nice.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if World War III will be a total hackathon, but I think it'll probably help like toss us into it though, because if Anonymous gets involved, and it's been seen in the past that they can gain access to damn near anything. I mean, all it takes is for one of them to go on a political bend and be like, okay, cool. And then they go in and either fuck with the voting systems, they fuck with nuclear systems, they fuck with money, they fuck with utilities, and then they go and blame it on somebody else, and next thing you know, World War III.
Yeah, I remember now. I believe that the last couple of elections have been sort of hackathons. You know, you got the Russians involved, the Democrats, the Republicans, libertarian. You know, Elon is one of these anti-constitutional Sun Valley libertarians that just want to get rid of the Constitution and have a new techno-feudal system in place.
Yeah, I think him and Peter Thiel want, and they've been very vocal about this. They haven't even hidden this. They want a world that is run like a major corporation with one CEO at the top of it, and you know, whether you call that monarchy, whether you call it a dictatorship, that's what they're looking for. And
they're not. Go on, please. I'm sorry.
No, I wouldn't even know if you call it an oligarchy or.
I think at that point it'd be a plutocracy, wouldn't it be a plutocracy?
I call it a Kukla Fran and oligarchy.
Oh, okay.
That's what I do.
It could be a Mickey Mouse-ocracy also. So
yes.
We don't know.
Oh boy.
Yeah. The fucknacity of the situation is huge.
Can you imagine Nazis walking down the street with Mickey Mouse on their arms?
Oh yeah, licking the ears. We lick the ears of the mouse. Yeah.
Does Raskin acknowledge the frustration with like what Ron expressed? Is that, you know, they just talk. The Democrats are talking a good game of using the judiciary to kind of block, but they're really they're not doing anything. I mean, they've called some lawsuits against them that have stopped them, but in the
42
lawsuits, it doesn't.
Yeah.
For people like Ron and me, it just feels like frustrating. Like they're not doing enough. They just talk.
Right. Well, you know, one of the things that I notice, and this is just an observation from looking at all of the spokespeople for the Democratic Party, a lot of these Democrats didn't take Project 2025 or Trump seriously enough, and weren't acknowledging that Trump had 4 years to prepare. Russ Voigt had 4 years to do his 2025 project book report. Right. And they seem completely like Adam Schiff. Every time I see Adam Schiff come on TV, he's got this deer in the headlight look, like, oh, it's really fascist. Like, I thought it was just fake fascism, you know, like neo-corporate liberals. This is real, people. Real Nazis. Dive bombing Nazis. I'm scared. And then there's Chuck Schumer, who just doesn't even know how to be radical. He's trying. He's out there. He's like, come on, everybody. Let's just do a lot of paperwork and yeah. And then Jamie's like talking to us about all of the paperwork he's filing and the different routes and punitive measures that the judicial branch can inflict on these people should it come to J.D. Vance's statement that maybe they won't comply with the courts. And he had to address us all. He was like, hey, man, the professor was like, could y'all just back off, Chuck Schumer? A lot of people are giving Chuck a hard time. And I'm like, yeah, man, could he say something that's vital? He's always been this middle of the road compromising guy. And a lot of that, you know, is kind of due to AIPAC money. I mean, some of these people that are very supportive of Israel really weren't afraid of Trump messing up anything because Trump still supports Israel. And so yay. And so yay, more military. Yay, all of that. And then but disavowing trans people on our ground, dehumanizing people on our territory. Well, that's something they never even considered. Well, wait. Oh, insurrectionists that would like to see all the Democrats and the civil servants, you know, disempowered or worse, God forbid, you know, maybe freedom is in danger. It's and you get these elitist attitudes where they don't know what solidarity is because they're making up enough money that they don't really need a lot of solidarity. They just need allies to help keep that status quo. And they're cool enough to say, hey, man, everyone below us, you know, in the working ranks and middle class. Well, all of you are equal. It doesn't really matter what race, color, skin, gender you are. We recognize all the genders, but you are serving us.
Right. Yesterday, I saw some woman on Twitter. She was a woman, an Asian woman who had worked on the Harris campaign. She says she's no longer a Democrat. She's left the party because of the trans insanity. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What does that mean? What is trans insanity? The fact that you just want to treat people and let them live their lives and not intrude in their lives is somehow insanity. They are insisting there is a trans agenda in the Democratic Party. I don't see it. I see it as a live and let live agenda, and that everybody deserves the same human rights and civil rights. And that, to me, does not sound like trans insanity. But there's a lot of this talk about, the Democrats are just extremely gone nuts about trans stuff. And what is nuts?
Okay, first of all, I think like trans people make up maybe 1% of our population. So why are we concerned about, there being a movement? Body dysmorphia is a very real thing. A Republican congressman just recently made an address about that after his non-binary child was discounted and dehumanized for wishing to describe themselves as the young kids are doing with the pronouns. And yes, your Royal Highness is a good pronoun for me, but I'll accept any and all pronouns at this point. I don't really care now that my friends who are trans cannot refer to themselves as they have fought so hard to word their existence and their perspective. Sure, my pronouns are they. Sure, you can call me him. Sure, you can call me Al. I don't mind.
You don't have to call me Johnny.
My ex-wife's pronoun was they, but that's just because she had multiple personalities.
But I mean, I think this is part of the problem. Like, it's fine to talk about that trans and for them to have their rights. But I mean, what the weak Democrats aren't talking about is what's going to happen in 4 years when he's not going to leave office, because you can see the pieces are put in place. And all we're hearing is like, we're going to do this paperwork. It's like, you don't need fucking paperwork.
You're referring to the legislation that was introduced. Yeah.
No, I'm just saying the Democrats need to grow a backbone, because if you're so blind,
no, they really do need to fight harder. I totally agree with you.
Because in 4 years, this is going to be a problem. That's when it's really going to come to head. Because the reason the insurrection didn't work last time is he did not have the military behind him. And look who is in place currently.
Right, Pete Hegseth with his white skinhead tattoo emblazoned across his heart. I remember that tattoo, emblazoned on a couple punk rock's hearts that would show up at the cool punk shows and beat everyone to pieces that hung out with a diverse group. Right.
Ron is giving him too much credit. I think he's saying 4 years. When he's saying when I say too much credit, I mean being too optimistic here. I don't think it's 4 years. I think because yesterday, the bimbo press secretary,
legally Bondi.
Not Bondi, Levitt or whatever.
So many.
She actually said from the presidential pulpit that we are in a constitutional crisis. Now, she said it in terms of trying to blame the press for saying the constitutional crisis is blaming the president for the constitutional crisis, when the judiciary is really overstepping their bounds. But still, she acknowledged the constitutional crisis. And I think the reason for doing that, and you may call me crazy, but I think the reason for saying those words, constitutional crisis, from the presidential pulpit is to prep us for martial law. And
well, Jamie talked about this, and I think this is a lot of why some of my questions as someone who has trained with elite law enforcement, and my birth father was a presidentially decorated police officer, and the father that raised me is a lawyer. I think a lot of what's not being said is exactly what's coming down the pike and what's being set up. I asked Jamie, or the moderator asked Jamie rather, on my behalf, about whether or not Elon hacking the treasury had anything to do with collapsing the dollar and forcing us all into crypto. And Jamie responded, not yet. Not yet. Yeah. And, they are concerned about paramilitary people showing up on, I mean, it's begun. The legislation that to have Trump qualify as a third term president, but not Obama, which was very carefully written, has been introduced. The fact, like, here's my thing, Ron, you talk about the Democrats having a harder backbone. All these bitches, pardon me, Senator Gillibrand. I mean, I'll march in the street with them if our agenda meets. But all of these Democratic bitches who were like, we've almost published it. It's law, but not quite. Keep fighting. Have their jobs for another 4 years. That's problematic because these people couldn't see beyond fighting for what they were attaining. So if we attain it, their jobs are gone. All these Democrats, these little bitch Democrats, excuse me, my fellow Democrats, but all of you who did support any nominee, like Tim Kaine, he's like, fight like hell, fight like hell. Kristi Noem's nominated. I'll confirm her. Gillibrand, who delayed the ERA and left every woman and LGBTQIA person open and encouraged them to go join the fight with an informality, not published. It's just popular opinion. So if you get the wrong judge, you are screwed. She voted for Trump's Treasury nominee, who gave Elon carte blanche into the American people.
Right. Do you know what the recourse is if Trump defies the judiciary in the cases where they tried to block him? Like, they can't arrest him? What could they do? What's the recourse?
All I can tell you is that I've been privy to some very interesting conversations, and my job as a tour guide, where I run this. I mean, it's an innocent position, really. I'm a tour guide. I conduct a White House ghost story pub crawl and take my guests around the White House telling historically documented stories. And we go to 4 pubs. The last one is optional, but it happens to be my favorite because I was an elite donor bartender at the Kennedy Center. So I know what the private clubs are like. And being so well informed, I enjoy an erudite audience, which is why I like your comedy so much, GD. But I have been on the inside of military leadership.
Wow.
Enjoying
a show called Beyond Classified now. That sounds like the topic that you're talking about would be I'm just suggesting.
It was a military game. It was a military athletic game. And people were, the leaders. I don't even want to disclose what branch it was, but the very top leaders and DOD people.
It was the olive branch.
Right. It was the olive branch of the military. And the very top of the olive branch, the olive commander, he must have had a couple $100 of scotch before he belted this out. But I distinctly heard, I'll be goddamned if the military slips into the hands of a woman beating Nazi.
Wow.
So
That's an interesting comment.
It was a very interesting comment to hear at the bar. It was one of those moments because the round robin at the Willard, which was where we were at, is very elite. It's right next to the White House. They have some of the best bartenders I've ever seen. They have mocktails and cocktails, like a good lobbyist watering hole. Everyone should go there that is anti-fascist and take up space. I mean, the glorious Democrats have, that's our watering hole. The Willard takes great pride in having hidden MLK behind the luggage in the lobby when the police raided his room. So, that's where we go. And we all just stopped. I think that was the night I was partying with the governor of Maine, who should have sent me the picture with her. But I guess she didn't want anyone seeing her face buried in my cleavage. Nor did she know I was a public figure and a comedian. So, yeah, it was, I let her in. I wear this. I'm very flamboyant when I go out on these tours. I wear this pirate wench costume and my cleavage is out. And I got a rhinestone mask. And so she came up to me while I was having the classic mint julep. And one of my guests had bought me. And she did a little jokey joke about having her face down by my cleavage, but really she's innocently fingering my mint leaf, which that's what pissed me off, is that she fingered my fucking mint leaf. And this is a real mint julep. They dip the mint leaves in sugar. It's my favorite thing. I was like, who is this that thinks they can finger my food?
Nobody likes unsoliciting fingering.
Right? But instead of saying, who the fuck are you? Since I was next to the White House, it came out, oh, will you send me that photo, please? And then she went, now, and she's like this little Yoda lady. I guess she's a lesbian in the closet or not in the closet. I don't know, She kept doing the classic man gesture I've seen in strip clubs where the man's like, just grab the stripper's ass, and the stripper's like, I could fuck you up. And then he's like,
wow.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And in a way, I was really glad that she was equally using her power as a governor to kind of, sexually harass me. Actually, I allowed it. I didn't mind that part, but not giving me the photo, because I bet it came out great. And I trusted, the old lady lesbian to do it because she's a lesbian, right? She's not gonna lick my cleavage. Although now that I know her, she might. I don't know. But I want that photo, and why be ashamed? You did it in public.
Oh yeah, I bet she's a freak.
She was adorable. She's fine, but
I got to address this. Mr. John wants, for some reason, feels it's important to say that the world, all capitalized, world, is listening to your show. Actually, that's not exactly true. And I mean, there are 8 billion people on the planet. I think 7 of them.
At last count, there are only 5 billion watching this show, Matt. I just checked.
I think if I look at our non-domestic numbers, I would be really disappointed to find out that there are probably less than 100 people around this globe. Actually, not in America. Maybe Canada, if you count Canada, the 51st state.
Janet Mills. She looks like a freak.
Speaking of numbers, crunching the numbers on people, Raskin is looking at this class action suit that we could all do against Elon for having our social security numbers. And even if each of us just sued him for $1,000, that's $300 billion, which would effectively cripple Musk.
I don't know. That's whatever.
I personally think that there's far greater dangers, that it's not all going to be, I feel like we're all walking on a powder keg. I will walk on the side of nonviolence and I will use the de-escalative language of it. But I feel like there is a setup afoot, since there are alliances with Kash Patel, and Elon Musk, and of course Trump with Putin, and Tulsi Gabbard, who's just taken the National Security Administration lead, that we're going to look at having our Constitution forcibly thrown out, and people might be persecuted, and violence may occur, military coup may happen, and people need to calmly and respectively take that into consideration.
Well, what would GD do if they throw the Constitution out? Because he likes to take an envelope and go, the Constitution!
First of all, I've never done that, but or even sounded like that.
If you would have given me a second, I would have corrected myself.
No, you wouldn't have. No, you wouldn't have. He wouldn't.
I was in the. You heard me. I was in the process of it, right?
You wouldn't have. No.
You guys need to go. Do you guys need to go fuck for a second? Jesus Christ! Get it out of the way.
I've had a more recent process than Matt has.
You guys look like retards.
Earlier, you were asking about whether or not Jamie Raskin is frustrated, and I think that's really important to note, because I was laughing with my parents last night. I think he's very frustrated all around. I mean, not everyone has a district like ours where the majority of us are lawyers or the Secret Service. We have a very good grasp on the law and the Constitution. And so, of course, we elect the professor, the constitutional lawyer, to represent us. He's dealing with people like Lauren Boebert and Marjorie Taylor Greene, who don't know anything about the process and won because they look good and have nice tits. And so, of course, he's frustrated. He has to school them. He has to keep his very informed constituents informed. I mean, he's got Supreme Court justices in our district. And then he has to lead the opposition. So I think he's intensely frustrated. But, when contempt charges come, they're so far, he says, Elon Musk and Trump's administration has been complying. And Raskin has joked that impeaching Elon Musk just for the performance art would be an excellent measure. But, what I'm concerned about primarily is the volunteer work in the meantime from pardoned insurrectionists. I was just reading one of these pardoned insurrectionists would like the charges prior to January 6th concerning being pulled over somewhere in the area of Barack Obama's neighborhood, heavily armed, pardoned as well.
Wow.
So, and I don't think that's underestimated enough that
those were state
we have
charges,
a criminal
though, right? Not federal charges. You can't.
Bye, buddy.
See y'all. I gotta go.
All right, go. We'll miss him, and he was definitely not happy with me this morning. I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway,
I'm sorry. Am I hogging the time? I really appreciate
no time to be hogged.
I know I get nerdy when it comes to politics.
I know. Well, that's why we love having you on. Actually,
thank you.
I like the energy and passion you bring to the table. I just want to because I don't know John, Mr. John. Dr. John. He's in the chat room often. He's on my Facebook page. I did not accuse you of trying to demean anyone. I don't know where this is coming from. I try to address my views that are not to demean anyone to get taken out of context. I don't know what that means.
I'm sending your parents a letter. Tell them you're a whore.
Oh,
I already did, and they said it was fine.
All right.
Did I offend someone? I usually do. I don't mean to.
No, I think
we talk about fisting and bukkake on here. If anything you said offended somebody, that's just
I would just like to see somebody on the Democratic side grow a backbone. That's it, because they're not even seizing on opportunities of like throwing these corporations under the bus, because they're in bed with them too, because the money they're getting, especially with all these companies. Like with Walmart rolling back DEI practices, that should be like fucking scorn them for that. Like, you big pussies.
Scoring Walmart? Well, I mean, people are not giving us money, giving Walmart money. Is that what you mean, scoring Walmart for rolling back
No, I mean, Walmart has
or...
Walmart has politicians in their pockets on both sides of the aisle.
Right,
and,
oligarchy, blue oligarchy.
Yeah.
Me oligarchy, you oligarchy.
Yeah.
Don't call me that.
So the question I have is it too late? I mean, Ron said, I wish somebody in the Democratic Party would grow a backbone. First of all, I don't think one person in the Democratic Party would even be close to enough. You need like the entire party to grow a backbone. But even then, I think it's probably too late. The wheels are set in motion for Berlin, 1945, happening in Washington, D.C. I mean,
sad but true. It's...
if people keep rolling over, if people keep rolling over, but that's all we're seeing is just rolling over.
There is something to be said about the nonviolent tactics of letting the doors wide open, letting triple canopy paramilitary block people out of the DOE in front of all of the cameras. So that you can proceed legally first. And, I would certainly hope that the Democrats would not tell us that if they had plans for military action, that they had plans for military action, because that ruins the element of surprise.
Right.
But, it is up to us. Like, it will fall on us. You've got to engage in politics. You can't. All of these MAGA rural farmers are very upset now with Trump. And I saw a farmer political consultant roll it back all the way to Reagan when the Fairness Act was undone. The Fairness Act was something that established a precedent where the media had to tell both sides of the story.
Right.
And when that was gone, that's where we saw the split into right-wing radio, which targeted rural America, and kept targeting them since the Reagan administration to not trust the government. And then, MSNBC became so slanted because, the right wing is slanted. So now we've got two party slants that are extreme and not necessarily so.
Yeah.
It's
Ron, did you have something to add there?
Well, I was just going to say the whole radio thing. I mean, that's a whole another corporate issue that happened because all these radio stations were like sold off by these like big companies, and like I forget the company's name, and that's all they did. They bought up all these little AM stations.
Clear Channel, mostly.
Yeah, it was like Clear Channel, and then there's another one out there.
Yeah.
And they just kept buying up all these stations, and they'd fill it with like Rush Limbaugh and shit like that.
Right.
That was a fallout from the Telecommunications Act that Bill Clinton signed. That was not in the intent of the law, but that's what it boiled down to, and that's a very bad thing. I mean, you used to have 1,000 program directors in the United States, and now we have six.
Yeah, and like corporate radio is just like, hey, we're gonna listen to Bob FM. Well, Bob sounds like every other fucking Bob.
Yeah, So my point, I guess, is I think it's probably too late to, and I'm not just saying lay down and die, or just surrender, but I feel like because those people you mentioned, the farmers and the people that coming out. The pro-Trump people who are coming out in drabs and saying they are turned on them. They this is not what they voted for. Well, hello.
These people don't read. They did vote for it. That's the problem. Right. They did not read. They didn't even look at the summary. Like I looked at the Cliff Notes on 2025. I know enough where I can go, oh, okay, yes, this is fascism. I don't want to read the rest. I'm a little afraid. And I know that's exactly what they're going to install.
Right.
But because
two of
politicians...
my friends, I presented Project 2025 to them way before the election, when it first got leaked. And I said, basically, this is what it says. And well, who wrote it? Democrats wrote it. It's just a set. Like, you're not even
it won't happen. It won't happen. My MAGA 11 brother was like, sis, we're not talking right now. He was like, sis, it won't happen. I'm like, the fuck, it won't happen.
And now we're like a third through the list already.
I know you just tuned into politics when a reality TV star who's just as tacky as you are got elected, but the Republicans have been trying to do this to women, people of color, and the LGBTQIA since at least the Reagan era. I've heard about McCarthy. I've heard about what came before, but
Yeah. So
when was America great again?
We've been trying for 250 years. I think next year is the 250th anniversary, right? Yeah.
Oh wow, we're so babies.
Elizabeth,
We're such babies.
Did you see the video of Elon's son emasculating Trump?
Yes, I saw that, and I also saw the video of little X man discussing the Pennsylvania elections with Tucker Carlson and his father.
Yeah, seeing that one as well. Too.
At SpaceX, we quietly do what we want. They'll never know.
Right.
And then at Trump, hush. I was like, that kid's shushing him. That kid is shushing the president.
Hold on,
as a juvenile delinquent myself, I'm a little impressed.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but it sounds like you agree with me that Elon is responsible for hacking the election, the most recent election, 2024 election, and responsible for Harris's loss. Now, the question I have: first of all, do you agree with me on that? And second of all, if you do agree with me, why is Harris why was she so willing to just accept it and not even question it?
Well, I think that the second part of your question has like a 3-tier answer, and I really want to try and stay on point to answer all of them. And why wouldn't he hack it? I don't want to say that I fully agree. It looks that way. Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't he hack it? He's got the satellites, right?
Well,
He's got the machines. Trump himself was like, the vote, he knows those voting machines, and we won by a landslide. And you're telling me that Harris didn't take any one of those swing states, that he won them all? Please. And it's not just that. Like, I was looking at the voter fraud information that people are putting out on Blue Sky again. And something like only Democrats didn't receive their mail-in ballots in certain areas.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Louis DeJoy is responsible for that, right? So yeah, but not because
I agree. I think he hacked the election. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and then the 3-part question was what now? Why did she take it lying down? Right.
Right. Well, I think here's my thing. The Democrats were just gun shy because they didn't want to come off looking like the Republicans of 2020, just saying it was rigged. But part of and that was the fear. But with her especially, I feel
they
like
want to keep the tradition of the peaceful transfer of
it.
power. No, I bet she's probably fed up. I mean, she had to deal with Joe Biden the entire time she was running. Yeah. And he wouldn't leave her campaign alone. And he put a MAGA hat on, almost as if to say, it should have been us 2 old men playing golf. Yeah. So I think she was fed up. At that point, I wouldn't have much to say. And there is, the hubris of the informed and the highly educated is, well, we did the best we could for you people. Now you're going to get what you asked for.
Yeah,
a little too much, but
anecdotes
also
are never like a substitute for real data. But here's the deal: we're told that there was low turnout, and that's the reason she lost. Like 15 million Democrats decided just to stay home. But my experience is this: 3 weeks before the election, I went to go look at early voting, or 2 weeks, whenever they opened early voting, and there was a line 1.5 miles long, and I said, I'm not going to get on that line. Went back the next day, and it was longer. To me, it seemed like more people were just coming out. Not less
seemed to me, yeah, it seemed she activated a whole voter base, and more people voted than I forget the numbers. John Fugelsang was talking about the numbers, but she motivated she motivated me. I mean, I meant what I said. Maryland usually goes blue. We 60% of us voted blue. 92% of us in DC voted blue. I wasn't going to vote Biden.
Yeah.
But I'll vote for the Black
her.
East Indian woman that attended Howard University Law School. Oh, I'm sorry. Howard Law is running for office?
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. I need to go there. And people are like, well, why would you vote for Harris? She's part of the machine. Well, I'll tell you, it's very simple. At least Harris, at the very least, Harris would have kept DC, because she is Howard Law. She is DC. And we understood that.
Yeah. And she's not an old white man.
But yeah, exactly. Exactly. And, because of the history and the fine tradition of saying that we're going to do this and we're going to do that on both sides of the aisles with our elected officials, people have been programmed to believe that they're not going to do any of it.
Right.
And so it's heartbreaking to see these MAGA people that, thought Trump was just going to fix the economy. And he's not going to do all that other stuff. It's never going to go through. They have every house right now. They have every branch of government. The only branch of government that is putting up any kind of fight right now is the judicial. But then I discredit the Democrats, and I'll say this about the Democrats, Ron, because I primarily believe a lot of them don't have backbones. I think Bernie Sanders is doing a killer job. I think Jamie Raskin is doing a killer job. I think Cory Booker is a little scared right now and checking his conscience that he sold out to corporate America a lot. A lot of these people looked at he was talking about the line of defense. It was clearly fed to him by other Democrats, but he was looking and going over the line of defense about how they're going to fight back. And I just saw a list of what the Democrats did February 11th, and they accomplished like 5 or 6 things.
Right.
So, they are fighting. Then we have the issue of what's going on with the media. Is their fight being covered? Some of these people don't know how to fight. Some of these people have the attitude that if I commit civil disobedience as a lawyer, I will look bad, which pisses me off because I'm a lifetime activist that has faced arrest and been arrested numerous times. Usually, when you commit a free speech act of protest that is nonviolent, the Capitol Police trot you off, and it takes maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour tops. Colonel Ann Wright and I, ex-State Department, when we interrupted Jefferson Beauregard Sessions' confirmation, we were in jail maybe a half hour together. We got out. We went and saw another support protest for Medicare for all and had lunch. These people could go get arrested. They're congressmen. So I think that their processing would be a little less involved than Colonel Ann Wright and I's.
Right. I with the press, not the line of defense it ever was more.
The AP was just kicked out of the White House after 100-something years.
It feels like we've set a precedent. Bob Dylan said, "You just want to be on the side that's winning," right? I feel like this is what people have decided, that the Democrats got the Ron attitude, like the Democrats are just laying down like pussies, and they're never going to win again. And I just want to be on the side that's winning, so I'm just going to switch, and because we're seeing more and more people just switch to the Republican side. I'd rather be with the winning Nazis. Then
we saw the split with Bernie. I mean, there were a lot of people that they want the change. They need the action. The economy has been tanking, and more people are in seeking some kind of change. And so when Bernie got screwed, they jumped right over to Trump because he was an outsider.
Right.
And the people that are entrenched are looking at this as their lifetime of money. Jimmy Carter is an excellent example of someone who did not look at his service as his main income. That man wrote more best-selling books about his thoughts on how the country should be created on compassion and moving the women's movement forward because it is a global crisis. He wrote so many bestsellers, and that was their bread and butter after his presidency. These senators get in, and they're from bumfuck Indiana. I don't know who's in charge of Indiana right now, and I apologize if you're effective.
Stephen's in charge.
Oh, okay. So Senator Ortez, right, is like out in bumfuck Indiana, where there's hardly a way forward for any kind of income. There's no sort of cultural circles or urban intellectual affairs to go forward. So he's finally carved a path where he can get fat health insurance and fed inside information that will help him profit and live in a nice area with people that are diverse, who travel around the world, and there's good coffee and there's good air conditioning, and the buildings are made of real marble. They're not some bullshit plastic side building with fake facade columns. This is the real deal. These are real Corinthian columns. They're not leaving. You know, they're not leaving. This is their taste of luxury.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. So you know what? Let's switch gears here a little bit because people are entertaining this weekend. Ron's got a gig tomorrow night. I got a gig tomorrow night.
Great. What? Go on. Tell me.
Steven is just like sitting home and beating off, wishing he had a gig tomorrow night, but that's okay.
I bet you beat off really well, though. And if you were to give us a show, I bet it is an excellent performance, Steven.
I think he's going to live.
You don't let these boys beat you up just because they're booked and you're not.
Oh no, it's okay. It's okay. See, I have high quality gigs coming. They just take anything that comes at them.
Me too. Tell me about your gigs.
Are you doing something at the Comedy Store? Because I could have sworn I seen you promote something about the.
I am not. My next big comedy gig. I'm working new material over at Sean Savoy's Nottingham's Tavern. Whenever I can get out. I didn't go yesterday. I plan on going Friday, but that's really not something that I introduce formally at all. It's really just for me, and if I don't feel like going, I don't. I'm going to South by Southwest Comedy Festival as a guest of the director. The festival director, Charlie Sotelo, has invited me. And it's my first time going to Austin. And I learned that that's the capital. So I'm in Ted Cruz territory. It seems that Ted Cruz and I have continued to the showdown continues with Ted Cruz and I. But I'm really excited.
On his radar?
Ted?
Yeah.
Well, I certainly would think so after having yelled at him from the Senate gallery.
Yeah.
But Charlie Sotelo and South by Southwest should be on everyone's radar. You know, I certainly hope it doesn't. I certainly hope that Trump's shit list gets rounded up and shot first, right? Because Hitler had his political enemies put in a camp first. I hope that Ted Cruz's priorities and shit list are at least third or fourth circle. I am walking around with my passport at all times in case I do need to cut over to the airport and leave the country. That's how serious I'm taking it.
Yeah,
I really want to get over to England and then Ireland and Scotland. I would travel Europe. That would be my preference. I don't know Spanish fluently enough to feel like I could go there, but I have contacts there. But my first choice would be Croydon, England. Claim England in the name of America. Elizabeth the Only from Kensington, Maryland.
Yeah, England, Europe in general is a little bit nervous about what's going on in Ukraine and what it means for them.
They have experience.
Once it moves past that. So they're very. I know a couple of the EU leaders have already expressed.
I love what the other leaders are doing. I love that Canada is surgically striking with tariffs, that the president of Mexico is surgically striking the red states with tariffs.
Right.
I love that people from other countries are speaking up. I remember when George Bush W. was elected, George Bush Jr. was elected. I went over to Berlin during a time where expats were there from America after 9/11, and the East and West were still coming together, and the East was still catching up with Western culture. And I would get cornered at billiard rooms and bars, and they would be like, "What is wrong with you? Did you not see what happened in our country? He is too full on."
Yeah.
And it's beautiful to see these countries demonstrate against anti-fascism with us. I mean, the thing is that it's not just our country.
Right.
People are hyper focused on Trump. Elon Musk is doing business with Putin. He's funding the ADF in Germany. He's looking at global domination.
Right. And Musk is a much younger man. Like I anticipate Trump dying at least on the same in the same time frame that I'm going to be dying, like which is hopefully soon. But I think Musk will be around for many more years. Peter Thiel and all these, these broken nerds that we've made.
Broken nerds. That's exactly what they are. Russ Voigt, who hurt you? One of my girlfriends, I'll keep her anonymous, was first she was hired as a psychologist to give therapy in England to the Vatican's priests. And the Vatican sends their really sick, perverted, perverse priests to Walter Reed, by the way. And then she decided to leave that avenue to save any sort of religious or spiritual precepts that she lived by. And she went to work with the generals and upper echelon of our Pentagon. And it's like, show me on the teddy bear where you were hurt. I mean, this whole...
Oh, did we lose it? We
Froze.
Froze up. All right. We lost it.
Oh, she's GD.
Yeah, she pulled the GD on us. Well, we'll see if she can reconnect. Hopefully she will. In the meantime, I want to share this video with you guys. Can I share a video? I know I don't need to. I don't need to.
Let's watch the video while she's being raided by the FBI.
Right. Oh well, the FBI doesn't exist anymore. They all got fired.
CIA.
This is what I wanted to.
There was no turning back. My mind raced, and I thought, what could I do?
F-22s, baby.
And I knew there was no.
What do you
were those?
Why is the Pentagon releasing that? What's their intent?
The Pentagon's always done that.
Oh, have they?
Yeah. You can go online and find hundreds of propaganda type badass videos of our artillery. Yeah, all over the place.
I don't think so. It's not been my history where they just come out and say, look at what we're getting ready to do. Hello, are you back? Do we hear you?
Yes. Hi, can you hear me? Can you see me? I'm only being shown like a small sliver of the camera, which is fine. Why were we playing AC/DC? I love AC/DC.
Well, I was playing a video on Twitter where the Pentagon has released this video of aircraft ready to go to war, bombers and stealth fighters and this kind of stuff.
Pentagon that posted that.
Even for us, they always do that. Like,
well, no, I didn't realize you said the Pentagon posted that, because the Air Force and the Marines, they post videos of their planes constantly. But I didn't realize you said the Pentagon. That's a different story. Okay.
This is the Pentagon putting, and they're basically saying we are ready to win World War III, and I don't think we will. We are. I think the United States military is Jerry Cooney. It's a big, loudmouth white guy who's going to end up losing. I mean, if you look at our history,
it was the most diverse. It was the most diverse army, or the most diverse corporation in our country until recently.
Right.
You know, I'm assuming that we are not all kicked out. Women, people of color, LGBTQIA. You know. What's funny to me about the whole gender dehumanization is that and how we're only going to go by two sexes is that if you're going by genitals, people are born with both genitals. Where are the hermaphrodites being recognized?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
I've asked that question 100 times. Nobody wants to give
nobody answers that question.
Yeah. It's
like,
yeah. What do you do about it? So we do have three.
It does speak to the sexual trauma in this country, and rape in male circles is hardly spoken about. It's very taboo, and the men that have to recover from it are challenged more than women are, because we're the weaker sex and we are supposed to be dominated and colonized, as Pete Hegseth's preacher has pontificated. So that's the stereotype on women. It's okay if we're raped, but when a man is raped, it's not okay. He's weak, he's a loser, he can't talk about it with his peers. And I look at the level of sexual trauma in this country, and I think that is where all of this discomfort with other options of sexuality that people aren't familiar with get hung up on. That and porn. I think porn should be, before I watched porn, I was always, to a degree I still am, but I was always pro porn before I watched it. And then when I actually watched it, I was like, holy shit, because I liked sex, right? And I was like, oh, really? A gangbang? Oh gosh, that's a lot of attention. That seems like, like you have to have a capacity to enjoy a lot of pleasure. And I think I might be cut out for that, But then I heard that the women were called cum sluts. And I'm like, but I'm not, the woman's not even coming, man. She's making everyone else come. Aren't the man cum sluts? To see it be so humiliating to everyone involved, and the limited genres of porn, like everybody's into fucking their relatives. What the fuck is that? And if that is reflecting, like I banged my stepsister, I fucked my brother, I did my daddy. Well, if that's the popular genres of this country, look at the sexual trauma and look at what people are not admitting to themselves, and then it becomes natural that they're projecting an inner guilt, an inner taboo onto someone else. All the trans people, gay men that I have ever shared a bathroom with in all of my hardcore punk new wave life in the underground have merely just done my hair and makeup for me, cried with me, helped me, told me. I remember one time when I was new to drinking, and the alcoholism in this country is insane. Look at Pete Hegseth. Alcoholism is okay, but strange sexuality that's not white and heterosexual is not okay. What does that say about us? But this one gay man who was using the women's bathroom, because we always let the gays use our bathroom if they didn't feel comfortable in the men's room during hardcore punk shows, was like, you can't leave. You left your drink at the bar? Oh, honey, you can't leave your drink at the bar. So you can't. I'll buy you a drink. Someone may have roofied that. They looked out for me, and it hurts to watch all of these people be persecuted again. It pisses me off, and these young people, I'm laughing my ass off. I was talking to some older people, and it's like, finally, here comes the boomer. In a popular culture perspective, here comes the boomer's revenge. Like, these Gen Z and millennials have been like, oh, okay, boomer. Yeah, you're fucking right, okay, boomer. Okay, boomer. Boomers took beatdowns from cops for your rights. Like these little young feds, yeah, okay, boomer. Like okay, like like Fonzie, okay, boomer. Like,
all right, go get it. Fight.
These little kids that
they're most upset about the fact that they're going to have to check into an office and not work remote anymore. Boo-hoo, it's fascism. I'm like, you have no idea what fascism is. You've never seen a beatdown from the cops.
Well, I would disagree with your assessment on porn, to the fact that there's so much porn out there that is done from a female perspective.
I haven't looked.
And there are gangbangs that the women control, and it's all part of it. And
that's hot. How do I get involved in that? I bet I'll be in a higher tax bracket and a happier person. Can I pick my own team?
That out there. And I definitely agree, like with the step porn stuff. It's a big thing. I don't, maybe some of it's trauma, but also, I mean, porn usually leads kind of like the country's id. So I think it's just because people are bored, and it's like it's the last horizon, kind of like what happened to anal a few years ago. Like everyone's so into anal and ass eating now. It's like, well, what else is left besides?
Where is the fantasy?
But now, especially with porn, there are so many different subcategories, and there are, trashy categories.
Is there like long, smooth, slow, hard, actual making love porn out there? Like, is there like an hour of breast work out there of just some guy with great mechanical hands working on a lady's boobs for hours?
Yeah, you can just watch massage porn where they.
Thank you, Ron. Thank God you've explored the category deeper than I have. I do remember, now that we were talking about it, my friend Blue Iris. Do you guys know Blue Iris from the Howard Stern show? I knew her up at the Comedy Store. Oh, I'll tell you what's happening at the Comedy Store. Blue Iris and her husband did senior porn together, and they loved it. And she would appear on Howard Stern's show. But yeah, the Comedy Store, February 18th, is a
Monday.
Scheduled protest. It's a scheduled protest. The Comedy Store, with all of the wonderful things I can say about it, is still not ADA compliant. And it is problematic. It locks out certain members of the audience. It locks out certain comics that are hilarious and I love working with. And when I was there cutting my chops on a regular basis, the doormen would saddle up and lift the guy in the wheelchair into the original room. But, no one could get someone up the steps to the belly room. So, they're asking for ramps. They're asking for elevators. I think it would be great. It would be great for the Comedy Store and Paulie to step up with everyone and say, yeah, we are going to accommodate everyone. It would combat this anti-DEI and ADA situation.
Yeah, well, we know firsthand from dealing with what Stephen has to go through. He has to bring his own ramps everywhere he goes through. It's not just the
Jesus, Stephen. That's a lot
in America.
For example, when I came out to Long Island and we did a gig at the Governor's at the Giggle Snatch in the little giggle room, and it was one of those situations where even if I had brought a ramp, just due to when we got let into the venue and the time we had allotted, we would have had to rearrange the whole room to even have the ramp set up.
Wow.
So
wow.
And then because I had to rent a car and I couldn't, even if I had the ramp, I wouldn't have been able to fit it in the car. So I would have had to rent a bigger car. I couldn't fly with it. So, it's one of those things where you either have it or you come up with a solution for to get it done. So
Well, I've been looking for a place to start a mic in DC, and I do want it to be ADA accessible, because my father and could use a good laugh, and I'd be delighted if you were to come out and do a show once I find that spot, Steve. I'll make sure you fucking get in the door. You're great. You're hilarious.
Will that be in the burbs? Because I know DC is like.
I don't know. I kind of want to put it in DC.
because the buildings are so old, they can't be ADA compliant just because of space and structure and how a lot of those buildings were constructed back in the day. Like in Philly, there are plenty of places that aren't ADA compliant, and they really couldn't get ADA compliant unless they spend millions of dollars trying to fabricate and turnkey some of these old buildings that are 150 years old.
Well, one of the places I played regularly, like I performed there 2 nights a week for about 7 years straight. They were a very old building, and I know they did invest over $100,000 in upgrading for a ramp and all that kind of stuff. Millions is a whole other thing, but you know what? At some point, somebody's got to bite the bullet on that. Or we can't be cutting out members of society because, well,
this is a historical building. We do treat buildings better than people.
Yeah, I get it.
Well, trust me, in some of those buildings in Philly, the people in wheelchairs ain't missing much in those buildings.
Yeah.
So consider yourself lucky.
All right.
Well, and there's times where it gets a little taxing on you mentally when you have to, when you think about like, oh, I'm going to go do this thing, and then you have to run through this checklist of, can I get through the door? Can I fit in the bathrooms? Can I, can I navigate the building? Like for example, last year at the comedy festival, they put a after party at the bar, right? And I was like, cool. Where's it at? And they go, oh, it's at the cellar downtown. Only way down is down 2 flights of stairs that are about 8 inches wide. So even if they
you get down there pretty
couldn't.
quick.
So.
You get down there pretty quick, right? Down 2 flights of stairs.
Getting down's easy. It's getting up that's the problem.
Just a simple push and someone to roll you the rest of it.
Oh yeah, I can do the whole pregnant mom method and just ride down the steps, no issues. But like I said, it's getting back up. That's
I might make you stand a little funny. You'd be all bruised up on stage, and then
no.
I just
what
put on,
about
as long as I put on a football helmet, protect the money.
What about like a Hannibal Lecter?
Helmet.
About a Hannibal Lecter, you put yourself on a dolly, strap yourself in, and
before I lost the use of my legs completely, I had been taken up and down the steps on a wheel dolly a couple times because I was able to stand on there, and like put weight on my legs. It was great. That worked a couple times beautifully. But yeah, man, I like, for example, that's the reason like going out to New York or LA, I would love to do, but it's going to take an immense amount of planning, just figuring out where I can go.
Yeah.
Let alone anything else.
In New York, so many of the rooms are downstairs. I mean,
and the thing is, there's a couple. I know a disabled comedian in New York, and he said a couple of them, while they're really hard to get down, he goes, when they know somebody in a wheelchair is coming, they don't give a fuck. They'll get you down there. They don't take no for an answer.
Wow.
I watched the Comedy Store Door Boys drop someone once, and that's the issue with that. Well, it's nice that they're willing to get you up, but will you be okay?
Well, here's the thing though. If you can't handle the physicality of getting dropped, you probably shouldn't make the attempt. Like, I can handle being dropped. It's not a big deal. So, I can take a beating. It's okay.
With Joe Urell, he's
I
got
love
like
I love the dedication.
It took 8 comedians to get him up on stage. And comedians are not like football players, but 8 guys to get him up on stage, and then watching them take him off stage was nerve-wracking for anybody because it was like they're just not equipped for this. It's going to take 20 of them.
That's why you get a gig with a pro football team, and you never have to worry about that. Hey, get the linebacker core up here to get me off stage.
Yeah. Well, it also helps if the guy in the chair can help at all. Like me, for example, I can transfer to a chair, have the chair put on, and then climb back into the chair if need to. Or I can, I've been lifted before, but generally speaking, I'll pop a wheelie and get the wheels on top of the stage, then it'll just kind of lift it back up, or something like that. Like, I very rarely have I ever just been like, okay, you guys completely lift me. I think the last time it happened, it was into a house.
What the hell kind of background has Ron got now? What happened to Seal? What happened to your Seal dick pic or whatever that was?
Dude, you know what? Your Seal background gave me a nightmare last night, motherfucker. I'm really upset about it. No, Ron's Seal background. Because I had a dream about it for some reason.
Is that it? What is that, Ron?
It's Seal from the Super Bowl commercial.
Oh, Seal, the singer. I was looking for like a seal, like killer
Well, they
seal,
made him a seal
from Antarctica.
Yeah, they made him a seal, and I had a dream that we were on this thing, and the fucking seal behind him ate his head, and then started singing. And I woke up with like a cold sweat. I'm like, what the fuck was like, great? Now my dream algorithm's fucked up because of Ron.
And a lot of that comes.
The Comedy Store does have the power to change things for all comedy clubs. And maybe I'm overstating this, but for the youngsters who aren't aware, there was a time when no comedians in the country got paid at all, and the Comedy Store was for first and foremost in that, and abusing comedians. Even their headliners were not getting paid. There was a strike at the Comedy Store. I think it was 79, might have been 80, and comedians started getting paid. It had a ripple effect towards every other comedy club in America. Maybe if they start becoming ADA compliant, maybe they will have a ripple effect. I don't know.
Well, I've had
It
this
would be
idea.
nice to see unions for comedians. Maria Bamford was just at the Library of Congress discussing how she treats her openers, because openers still at clubs just get $50. And Ms. Bamford will disclose to her opener how much she made at a show, and she will inquire whether or not her opener feels that is sufficient enough pay that she gives them. She pays more than $50. She goes over her earnings with them, and then they dialogue. And I took, it was a breath of fresh air for me to hear someone say that they're handling things like that.
Yeah, well, I would.
Definitely an inspiration on a lot of levels. She's a great woman.
Yes.
Well, I would love to. I would love to like definitely help push the narrative of like more acceptance and openness to modifying these clubs. But part of that is getting to these clubs and creating the awareness. Where I think like a documentary would be awesome. Like a crew follows
Steve.
Follows like a couple
crew follows you
comedians or just follows me, and I go to all these clubs and they just document how difficult it is to get into these clubs and get there to perform, or how like I have to perform on the floor when everybody else gets a spotlight.
Right. Right.
Abby from Hampton Film Festival and Sticks and Stones Comedy, the lady who owns Sticks and Stones Comedy out in Southampton, she's going to be contacting me because she wanted to do. She wants to set up a podcast studio at Sticks and Stones. But her background is filmmaking. It sounds like just something that might be something she might be
into.
Well, because I think if a solid like hour documentary of just going to these clubs, especially the big ones, the ones where people are like, hey, if you haven't performed there, you're not really trying to be a comedian,
right.
Not like the Comedy Cellar, the Comedy Store, whatever. Go to these places and be like, look, I'm just as serious as every one of these other comics. But
how do I get in?
The shop? I can't go in there and do the thing,
right?
And just create some awareness, because going the route of going to these clubs and bashing them isn't going to fix anything.
Right. That's what I was
like,
suggesting to the organizers of the protest. I'm like, be sure you're doing this for the ADA, and be sure you're doing it for the Comedy Store to enjoy an opportunity where they can lead the way, rather than be shamed, because the building is historical.
Yeah, well,
you do run into that.
Well, it's easy to not book.
What?
It's easy to. Elizabeth disappeared.
Oh, I was looking at Abby's films. Abby Russell. Maybe it was time for. I don't want to keep her forever. Anyway, Abby is best known for Gourmet Diary of a Foodie 2006, Eat, Drink, and Laugh: The Story of the Comic Strip, which is a documentary, 2014, and Rock the Reception. But the Eat, Drink, and Laugh comedy strip documentary, a lot of big stars, and maybe Stephen wouldn't even remember them. So yeah, you know what? I'll talk to her about that. Maybe it's all with films. It always comes down, where's the budget? Where are we getting the budget?
Right.
That's why
Well,
I
yeah,
think
and
the activists at the Comedy Store should really link up with the mayor of West LA or someone that has access to funds to help the store, because the Comedy Store really does a lot to protect their comedians. They have a fund that helps folks out, helps comics out during hard times. They're very aware of the plight.
It makes you wonder how many comics that are, that aren't able-bodied don't even make an attempt to go to these places. A lot of these places might not even be like hyper aware of the fact that they're not accessible, because, for example, if I know I can't get into the Comedy Cellar, I might not just try, I might not just go for that reason, so they might not even be aware that they're not as accessible, which I'm sure they are, but it's probably not a hyper aware thing, because a lot of times when I go to shows, they're like, I knew you were coming, but I didn't even think about this. And it's like, yeah.
There is no doubt in my mind that there are probably several million people in America who are not even attempting stand-up comedy or think of the stand-up comedy or comedy is even possible because of their disability. Right.
Well, this was the argument my parents used and my family used to try to get me to not do comedy was, you won't even be able to go to most of these places and do it. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. I'll try anyway. But that was one of their detractors.
Right on, Ortiz.
Yeah.
Right on, Steve. That's hot.
Yeah. Oh, look, you titillated the queen. How about that?
It happens.
I love people that don't give up.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the underdog too, but not in Steven's case. I wish
there's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy comedy. It's a passion of mine, and it'd be stupid to not at least try. So
I just realized something. This morning I woke up and my Tim Pool hat was missing, and I see it's on Ron's head.
Ron, you fought the Long Island traffic just to rob his hat?
Just to get my Tim Pool hat.
That's dedication, man. I fucking hate Long Island traffic, dude. That shit
kids look like retards.
You know what? Speaking of retards, I thought New Jersey was going to be bad, but no. Nope, it was New York.
You mean like in terms of traffic?
Traffic.
Jersey?
Yeah, traffic was horrible. Hospitality-wise, where we ate dinner, they were the nicest fucking people. They even went in the back and got us a whole table and everything so we could sit down because all the tables were elevated. They were really nice.
You the traffic got lucky with some weird people because this area is not known for nice people or people who accommodate.
Everybody in that bar was like super nice. The hot blonde waitress was really nice. When we were leaving, a guy followed me out and was trying to like find out why I was in the classic. Oh, why are you in the wheelchair? Oh man, that sucks. I'll pray for you. All that bullshit. But he was still trying to. Yeah, but he was still being really nice though. He wasn't trying to be offensive. He was legitimately. I think he was drunk, but he was still trying to be drunk and nice. You know what I'm saying? Like he wasn't trying to be offensive.
All right.
It was just it wasn't what I expected because I grew up down south. I live in the Midwest, so I'm used to a good balance of assholes versus politeness, and then backhanded politeness. So
everyone is so concerned about the maggots. The maggots are so concerned about DEI taking their jobs away, and DEI was all about hiring better qualified people than the white guy who got hired due to race.
Yeah.
And it never brought us down as a country. It only brought us up. Look at all the airplane crashes, man.
They act
I know,
like,
dude.
They act like
planes
DEI
are
policy.
falling out of the air.
Right. They act like they believe that the DEI policy says if you got somebody who is totally unqualified, but they happen to be black, woman, or disabled or something, you have to hire them anyway, even though they're completely
that is not the case. That is the opposite. It's like, look, this woman of color in the wheelchair with the big tits, she's got 5 PhDs and has been flying and directing planes in her local town for 18 years before she came up into the ranks of this school, and now she's number 1.
Right.
But no one's hiring her.
Yeah.
No, they want Fred Jones, the white guy out of high school with no experience because he looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they don't understand it, and they're afraid of. But they're afraid of so much. They're afraid of anything that is. They're afraid of change. Basically.
Oh, hold on, real quick. For the record, we cannot call the MAGA people maggots, and the only reason I say
Are they gonna come
because
sue me for
no
whatever's in my bank account?
No. The entire fan base of Slipknot
Slipknot?
are referred. Yeah, the whole entire fan base are referred to as maggots.
Oh well,
So
look,
I don't want to
apologize to the Slipknot fans.
Yeah, I don't want to. I'm part of them. I just don't want. I don't want to connect them to the MAGA
I
people.
did not
because
realize that I was on a show with actual maggots. I apologize. I don't know
Just one
anything
maggot.
about
Just one.
Slipknots. I only know. I know a little bit about Windsor knots.
Maggots.
I
not
tie
spelled
my
the
shoes
same
in
way.
double knots.
And actually,
Maggots
you're
are not spelled the same way, right?
You should. A MAGA identifies as they because it's men for anal getting anal. That's why they're a very confusing group.
It's
Like,
true, man. That's again. That's why Grindr went down during RNC.
They run very bisexual until they come home to their Christian wives. Then fuck them from behind. That way, it reminds them.
Well, actually, rumor.
I thought
rumor
it was
is that.
I thought it was major assholes governing America. That's what I.
Well, there's
thought
that
it was.
too. But
I'm sorry.
The rumor is that a lot of the MAGA dudes.
My take was make America Germany again.
Well, there's also that too.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Oof!
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, can you help me move the shirts, Elizabeth? I got twat, which is tough women against tyranny.
Yeah.
Yes, I'd like to move some of those shirts to twat.
I would love to move some of those shirts. Chat with me after the show. Yeah.
All right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Steve,
I know a lot of twats out there.
I'm sorry, Steve. I cut you off at the knees.
Yeah.
No,
I don't remember. I couldn't feel him anyway.
all right. All right. I guess. Well, we've kept the Queen long enough. You know what?
I had a good time.
I appreciate that. We had a good time listening to you. Yeah, I appreciate the effort that you and the passion that you put into trying to. I don't know. I don't want to label you as an optimist, but to impact the world in a positive way. And if I was wearing a hat, Ron stole my hat. But if I was wearing a hat, I'd take my hat off to you.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. I think I'm absolutely insane. In Washington, D.C., we don't. We live behind the screen. We don't need validation. And it's only been my passion and my dedication to get out the message. Of being positive, of being fearless in the face of tyranny, that I aspired to get out there and be made a public figure. It's the messaging that drives me, and I can't stand by when I see people being dehumanized.
Right.
I blame it on my dad, Stan. He was the original Antifa. He went every day to his government job, Monday through Friday. He worked at Department of Justice, Department of Labor, and Interior. And he would go with his scooter. He worked on the ADA laws. He had a hand in that because he went to school with the author of that bill. And it's my thrill to drive the dialogue, the national dialogue, further in the direction of everyone getting along, which seems like such a nice thing to say, but apparently it's very difficult to do.
Yeah, it definitely is. The golden rule is not appreciated, and if you say it, you're probably radicalized left woke. They would kick Jesus out for being a woke.
They killed Jesus.
Yeah.
They killed him, and then they
thank you for being here, and we totally appreciate.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to coming back again. I'll see you guys on the comedy trail, Steve. I'll look for an ADA compliant place so I can book you in DC.
All right.
Yeah, man. Let me know. Let's figure something out.
Bye for now. Queen Elizabeth Coyden, folks. What did I want to bring up to you guys before what was GD doing today that he had to run? It seemed like he was.
I think he said he had an appointment or something. He had to do it. He had to be hard out at 10.
Do you think I heard him somehow? You said he didn't hear me, but
I don't know. He kind of seemed like he was in a mood from the get go. You probably didn't help, but you know, but I think he was just in a mood in general. He kind of seemed not.
A tough hair day for him, right? That's what it is. It's a bad hair. Well, it's very stressful when you have to go get your hair done.
Well, I don't feel like dreads are easy, right? So I imagine it's a stressful situation.
Well, there's a simple solution for anybody who's got these problems. This is it.
Yes, I agree. In fact, I'm going to be touching it up after the show, but
well, make sure you buy good razors. You know, this is the thing. My wife bought me cheap razors, and you never want to shave your head with cheap razors, like or disposable.
I use
your head to shit.
Well, I do use disposable, but I use these Bic, which have hypersensitive aloe strips, and it's like 6 blades, but it's like one swipe and it's smooth and done. So they're nice.
Yeah.
Change it out after every couple uses, and we're good.
Being bald when I was young sucked. I mean, being the bald guy at 25 or 26 years old was definitely a sucky thing when everybody still had their hair. But eventually, by the time I was 30, it became a matter of convenience. I could get out of the shower and not have to dry my hair, not have to worry about even combing hair or any of that kind of stuff. And the more you save money on shampoo, but the more and more as life goes on, the more and more of a convenience it becomes. So,
my biggest thing was growing up. We were so poor at times. We didn't have running water, or we didn't have soap. So I was buzzing my head at 10 years old, just so I didn't have to wash my hair. Yeah, I've been the bald kid forever, so it's never really bothered me. Now the razor, I started doing the razor 2 years ago. And I grew my hair out for my wedding because my wife wanted me to have a nice fade haircut. But outside of that, I've never really had hair.
I could grow my hair out, but it would just look like one little long hair just going straight up.
If I grow mine out, it's a Jufro.
Inside me.
So
one thing
hey, Foulmouth Teacher's here.
Yeah, hello, Bill. How are you?
Bill.
The truth is, I'm right about all of it, and you know it.
Yeah, I gotta close with some of these tabs up here. I got Abby's ADA page, IDMB ADA page. That's a whole other thing. Here on Long Island, I don't know if you guys remember a couple of months. It wasn't even like 6 weeks ago. There was a teen missing. I was joining a search party for this.
Yeah,
teen,
I remember that.
Right, she was held captive on a boat. The guy got arrested. They found her on the boat. The guy's father got a tip that she was being held captive on a boat. To date, I believe 12 people have been arrested in connection with this thing. It's like a sex trafficking ring. So what happened was one guy, she went out to get something from the car. A guy coming down the street saw her, grabbed her, brought her to a house where he raped her. Like this is like a common rape house. Then gave her to the guy on the boat to keep where they would abuse her and rape her. And now 12 people, and the list keeps growing. They keep arresting more people. Some of them are women, and these guys. And now, so a sex trafficking ring. We have a sex trafficking ring here on Long Island, and I'm sure we're not alone in this. But these people have got to be meeting somewhere, whether it's online or in person. There have to be safe places where these people feel like they can say, well, I got a house. If you grab a girl, I got a house. How fucked up is this that we have communities that can get together and conspire to kidnap young girls, rape them, and then trade them off as like, trading pieces, like porn.
I mean, it's wild, but it's kind of always been a thing, right? Like, I mean, because these guys probably aren't like, they probably don't have a Facebook group where they're, posting articles and shit about it. No, but they're probably using some of these encrypted communication services like WhatsApp or Signal. And
I get that.
it's wild, but yeah, it's always been a thing, right? Like human trafficking and kidnapping.
Here's my confusion. I understand what you're saying. They have now it's easier than ever before because in the old days before the internet, they had to actually meet in person or so,
hang out at the pub and talk about kidnapping. Yeah.
But the first initial contact, like if you were in a, let's just say you were in a bar, it's closing, getting near closing time, and some old creepy dude next to you say, "Hey, I got a place you can take a girl if you can get her." You'd be like, "What the fuck, dude? You're creeping me out." They have to make that first initial contact. They have to be able to look at it and, oh, there's a fellow creeper. I can confide in him. I mean, how have we created a safe space for these people to actually just come out and say, I like to kidnap young girls and take them. Are you into that? Because we could trade. I mean, so the safe spaces that we've created for them, whether it's online or whatever, that to me is the most disturbing thing, that these people can get together and have a community. And the thing that these women are into it is even more disturbing. Like, don't you understand that could be you? It could be you that they're grabbing up, but every day. And my wife keeps saying, "Why do you even pay attention to this?" I don't. You know what? It's something we should be fucking worried about. If we have a dozen people involved in just grabbing girls as a conspiracy, it's not just one. It could be anybody's daughter. It could be anybody. It's bad, and I don't know. Foul mouth to saying what it's not new. The internet just makes us more aware and spread the process. That's true, but I'm saying like that first contact, they have to be willing to risk it all to say, like, I don't know that you're a safe guy to talk to about this, but somehow I have to intuit that it's okay to kind of break the ice a little bit. And how to even break the ice about that shit? It's just fucking mind-boggling. Like if somebody even mentioned it to me, I would be all up in their ass and fucking, getting a bunch of guys together to come over and baseball bat this guy to death. Whatever.
Do you want to do some showbiz news? I got a couple of stories.
Yeah, let's do some showbiz news because I will feel. It's like a palate cleanser almost.
Ron, show me your biz.
Yeah, showbiz. Who stole my showbiz? By the way, Carl said you are the sommelier of porn. I was going to say that too. You could be like open up like an aggregator website. I have a 16-year-old daughter who just started driving. I don't let her get our own gas unless. Well, Bill, this girl she was at her house. Her mother just pulled into the driveway and she said, "Oh, I forgot my phone out in the car." She was going out to get her phone and then she was abducted, getting her own phone out of her mother's car in the driveway.
I don't even let my kids go out to the car without being supervised anymore. They're not. No, they're not. It's not.
That means that he was probably watching her for a bit.
Yeah, that was definitely something that was probably plotted out for sure. Probably not a random snatch and grab, because like I don't live on a main road, so a random snatch and grab is probably not going to be a thing that happens. It's probably going to be somebody watching. And what concerns me is, especially in my area, is it's usually brown kids that go missing, and my kids are mixed, but they're brown. So that makes me extra nervous. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, let's get to showbiz.
Showbiz, something.
And now, bringing you the latest in entertainment news from Hollywood, New York, and East Bumfuck, Montana. Here's our chief entertainment correspondent, Ron Kane. Ladies and gentlemen, it's showbiz. Showbiz.
Hey, showbiz, everybody. It is Thursday, so make sure you oh shit, why isn't this are you seeing it?
No, we're not seeing it.
Wow, that's weird.
Goddamn StreamYard.
I saw it there. You just pulled it out. I was going to add it.
That's what she said.
Right.
Don't ever pull out.
There you go. There we go.
Eat at Minucci's.
Yep, it's Eat at Minucci's. And so make sure you come by for Snatch and Grab Thursdays. That's right. For $5, you just put your hand in a trash can and pull whatever food out. Don't worry, it's all clean, and the bags are always fresh. So eat at Minucci's.
Welcome to Minucci's.
Right. The kid's leaving a booger on Trump's desk. I don't know if people are aware of that.
Yeah. Yeah, so if you want to see a 4-year-old kid emasculate an elderly man, there you go. All right. So speaking of softback companies, Disney is rolling back their DEI practices for business outcomes, as they like to say. They are even taking off the warnings of their older movies, like before, like they would say like Peter Pan or whatever. Like this had incidents like racism and things like that and stereotypes. They've taken all that off the front of the movies. So now everyone's hoping Song of the South comes back to Disney Plus.
Dude, that movie is awful. When I had a Disney podcast, that was we would review the movies and try to find like their deeper meanings and all that bullshit. And one of them was we did Song of the South. Man, that thing was so racist as fuck.
Yeah, I was in South Carolina one time, and we stopped at like this roadside stand, and they were selling copies of Song of the South on like pirated VHS and pirated DVDs.
That's horrible. Wow. Oh my god. Jesus Christ.
South will rise again.
South will rise again, brother. Yeehaw.
It's harder to get a copy of a Song of the South than it is to get Daddy Fucks All His Daughters.
No, I can find that with a quick Google search.
That's what I mean. It's harder to get. It's harder to get Song of the South than it is to get a VHS of Daddy Fucks All His Daughters. It's an indictment of where we are.
So Super Bowl halftime show, it proved to be the most watched. 133.5 million people tuned in just to watch the halftime show. And a lot of sad whites are upset because they didn't understand it. Like Ted Nugent, go fuck yourself, Ted. And
my new favorite videos to watch on TikTok are these people that had Super Bowl parties, these rich white people. It's rich white people sitting around in living rooms and shit watching the Super Bowl during the halftime show, and they're all just pouty and just like, what the fuck is this? And it's just the younger kids are all dancing and having fun and watching the show. It's super funny watching sad white people. Because they're just like, oh, this is awful.
Yeah. I've never been able to get a straight answer on this, but the number 133.5 million, is that television sets, or are they just assuming that there's more than one person? What does that number really represent?
Well, I wonder. I bet that's a combination of TV viewers and streamers, because Tubi was streaming it for free.
But again, is it the number of sets that it goes to, the other devices, or whether it's streaming television, the devices it lands on, or the number of people? And if so, how do they figure out how many people are watching a device?
It's probably per device. I mean, it's probably nothing weird like that. It's probably
you factor in the television audience, then your streaming audience, and whatever the formulas they are using. Yeah. But they had a spike in viewership at the halftime show.
And then they all disappeared after the halftime show.
So weird.
Yeah, because I think the game was actually one of the it was the highest rated Super Bowl ever.
Yeah, but wasn't it yesterday or the day before you said like after the halftime show there was a big drop off?
Well, the score had something to do with that too, right?
Yeah. It was the score, but I think it only dropped by 10 million at first after the half. Probably by the end of the third quarter is probably when they seen the largest drop off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everyone knew it was a wrap then.
Yeah, everyone's drunk. They're like, we're just waiting. And plus, because people are superstitious, Philly fans are just like, we have to see the entire game because we can't say it's over. We can't say it's over.
Well, yeah, I mean, 22 points, it doesn't, or what was it, 18 points or whatever that they lost by. You could make that up in a game in 3 minutes with the right combination of shit happening. So I wouldn't have celebrated either, Yeah. I think I would have waited. So good on them.
So if you use YouTube TV, you're not getting Paramount channels right now, because just like the old days where cable companies would have disputes with channels, it's happening now with streamers, and so there's a contract negotiation happening. So if you want to watch Nickelodeon or all the other Paramount stuff on YouTube TV, forget about it And welcome back to the old days, folks.
Yeah, the channels included CBS, MTV, Nickelodeon. Those are the ones they mention in here. But there's more than that, right? With Paramount, there's
yeah, because I can remember back in the days of like having cable. It seemed like every 6 months to a year, you'd be going through channels and be like, oh, you don't have this channel anymore
we had
because
people freaking out in New York 2 weeks ago because of the sports. I don't know, MSG, Mass Garden Network, one of them. They were just like freaking out because they couldn't get their Knick games, and it's still going on with the cable companies. And now it's, everything's going up, but prices never go down. But it's
Hey, Elizabeth sent me this photo for you, Matt. I just sent it to the group chat.
I can't see that. Jesus. You think with these old eyes I could see that?
Probably.
I think
So
it's
anyway-
this middle. I think it's this middle part that says the acting solicitor general has notified Congress of DOJ's intent to ask SCOTUS to overrule Humphrey's executor, a major 1935 ruling upholding the independence of agencies like the FCC, FTC, and NLRB, etc.
All right. Yee has been dropped. Is the headline here. Yee.
Yep.
been-
He has been dropped by his management company finally after the whole swastika T-shirt.
It took this.
Yeah.
What? Oh my god! I want to work for those guys. They'll fucking deal with anything.
Yeah, even after he took out the Super Bowl ad for this website that sold swastika T-shirts.
Wow. Now, what he said was, I forget what he said. I like Hitler and I am a Nazi, right? That was the that was
He
the deal.
said, I don't know. He's been saying all sorts of shit now for a bit.
Yeah.
You can literally put any combo of words together and say Kanye said it, and people will probably believe it.
Yeah. The funny thing is that people still somewhat follow him, but I'm not sure why at this point. So this is the big movie opening this weekend, Captain America: Brave New World, and the reviews have not been great. It's been like so. So I'll be seeing this tomorrow with my wife because she wants to see it.
No, you won't. You're doing a show at Fratelli's tomorrow. How are you going to be going to see Captain America and doing a Fratelli show at the same time?
Yeah.
You mean Saturday?
I'll work it out somehow.
Well, my wife might be getting me tickets to this for my birthday, but from what I understand, though, the reviews haven't been as fair as the actual like audience reactions. One of the sites I follow, they go to the red carpet events and they kind of gauge the audience response versus that. And according to them, 16 action scenes and over 10 times did the audience break out in applause out loud. So he said that this movie is, in his opinion, is considerably better than the reviews are giving it credit for. So
wow,
I'm excited to see it and find out. So
yeah, I'm curious.
I'm just looking at this thing going back to the previous story. YouTube is now YouTube TV is now $83 a month. Netflix is only $83 a month.
Well, it's $83 a month for live TV.
YouTube TV.
Yeah, YouTube TV gets you like it's the cable experience is what it gives you.
Yeah,
and
you get
it's stupid overpriced.
Yeah. Well, Netflix just raised their price too, like a month or two ago.
Not to $83 though, right?
Yeah. So speaking of some comedy, Hilarious. Jessica Kirsten is coming to Hilarious in April, I believe her special is dropping. So be on the lookout for that because I believe Bill Burr is on the slate next. So she will be joining Hilarious.
Wow. So that's one more person we can never hope to get on this show. The minute they get these big Netflix, Hilarious, Hulu, whatever, that they become untouchable. I had a few people who were lined up and who got on like the Netflix, the half hour to 30-minute thing, and then all of a sudden they couldn't do this anymore. So while I'm happy for her, every time somebody reaches this one of these high level levels of success, they become untouchable for people like me, and that's sad. Untouchable.
I would think though we would actually be able to get her on this show.
Oh,
I think so.
I could get her. Ronson.
All right. Movie wise, this is China's Niza, I guess, part 2. It made like $1 billion in like a week in China. And they're moving this movie to be released in this country as well. And apparently it's pretty decent, but who knows? So China's animated feature will be coming to the US.
Wow. Yay. I can't wait. I can't contain my excitement for what is this again? I don't even know what the hell it is.
Yeah, it's a movie. It's called Niza. And the reason I know about it is reading. And like I said, the movie made like $1 billion in China in a week. It's that popular.
Wow.
But to be fair, there's not a lot going on in China, and people hate. I mean, if you live there, you need any type of escape.
Well, I would say try to pork fried rice.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
When you're not being sealed in your apartment for COVID, go see this movie.
Yeah.
This is Felipe Esperanza. He has a new special out on Netflix. I checked this out the other night. It's pretty good. There's Felipe being Felipe. So if you're interested in comedy, his new special is out there.
Who isn't interested in comedy? Who isn't?
Yeah, who's
Everybody.
not?
Nazis.
All right.
So this is Pete Davidson. Pete recently unveiled himself. All the way to the right is what he looks like now. He's had over 200 tattoos removed from his body. He's been talking about what a long and arduous process that he's been going through and still going through. But this is what he looks like all the way on the right. He's almost like tattoo
society
free.
survives and the world continues, there will be textbooks, psychology textbooks written about Pete Davidson. There'll be like a library, the Pete Davidson psychology wing of any.
I just want to know how he picks up these chicks he picks up.
Just a very unusual dude, broken. I guess he's reflective of all society in general. We're just so fucking mentally ill that he seemed to have all of it at once.
Yeah.
I would, in his tighty whities there and the cut off T-shirt. I guess he's trying to say, look, I got whitewashed.
Yeah, because I remember when he first started doing this, he said he wanted to do it because a lot of his tattoos were ridiculous, and it was a lot of stuff he was going through at the time.
Yeah.
And he also did it for his career because he's like, I'd like to do other things, and I can't be all tatted up like I was.
Right. No, I get it. It must be but the investment to get there in the first place, and then the investment to undo it. The investment to undo it is probably 10 times what it was to get the tattoos in the first place. So.
Yeah, and he's talked about how it's not a great process. Like they do it, and then he can't be outside essentially for like 2 months. He can't have any direct sunlight and things.
You
like
add up all the time and energy he's invested into his life in tattoos and then getting them removed. It'll probably be a couple of years of his life he spent on getting tattooed and then getting the tattoo removed. Probably a couple of year investment.
Yeah, for sure. So enjoy the suffering, everybody.
What the fuck is that? Oh my god!
What the hell I'm looking at? What the hell am I looking at?
Right. I don't know. I don't like it.
I forget what the prompt was for this.
Describe it to the people on the radio. What we're looking at here, because you can't.
It's a man and a woman sharing a weird kiss.
And there's
it looks like there's a big black cock coming out of his neck, and then what looks like intestines connecting them.
At the waist area, though, it looks like there's some kind of
colostomy bag that they're sharing.
Oh, that's what it is.
Shared colostomy bag. That's real closeness right there.
Jesus, we're a sick society. We are a sick.
Man, we live in a society.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy the suffering, everybody.
All right. GD is off enjoying his suffering right now.
I think he's having a colonoscopy done again for the 8th time this year.
I And remember, if you see Trump today, and make sure you tell him
to restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? To restore democracy. This may seem.
It's almost like his son. It's almost like his son heard his dad say it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, why else would he say it like that?
And he looked pretty demoralized. I know Steven sent a Lawrence O'Donnell clip last night. Oh, somebody sent it. Oh, I can't watch it because when those come through, my because I use this thing for streaming to Instagram. If it's on Instagram, that channel is muted constantly, and I can't turn the sound back on without fucking up everything. So I don't know what he said, but I did see some reviews of Lawrence Donald talking about how powerless and emasculated Trump looked, and so he obviously heard it. But the question that how long does this relationship between these two go on before Trump says, I can't take this anymore? This guy's stealing my thunder. He's stealing my spotlight.
What's crazy is what if these policies to get rid of immigrants ends up getting Elon kicked out?
Nah, that won't happen.
Nah, that won't happen.
I know.
He's too rich. He paid $250 million for Trump.
But it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of like ironic, maybe not, because Trump has got the Republican Party by the balls. They feel like hand-tied by him, and they're secretly wishing he would die. Trump now knows what that feels like. He knows what the Republican Party feels like because he's hoping Elon fucking drops dead any minute. He's beholden to this guy. He doesn't have the balls to stand up to him and say, take your $500 billion and get out, because money, the love of money, man, is the root of all evil. And he can't bear to cut himself off from that big pile of Bitcoin that Elon's sitting on, or whatever the fuck is where he keeps his money. So it's just ironic that now Trump knows how the people he's subjugated, he knows how they feel. He's like beholden to somebody and just wishing they would die. Get out of my life.
I think it lasts as long as something big doesn't happen.
Yeah, well, again, I think earlier you said 4 years. I agree that Trump would try to hold on to office forever, for the rest of his life, till he dies, and then probably pass it off to Barron, not even to either one of the other kids. But I really think that this whole thing is this whole constitutional crisis is, and that the fact that they're saying that from the presidential podium is a precursor to declaring martial law. That's what he really wants. That's what he wanted all along, is like complete power over everybody. And I don't think he's going to wait till the next election. I think we're going to see tanks rolling down streets of America in the next year. That's my prediction. And I would love to be wrong. Please let me be wrong. Anyway, that's the show for today. What do you think? That was a terrible show? Did you think that was the worst
it wasn't
show?
bad.
All right, then. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, man.
Elizabeth always has a lot to say, and I appreciate her. I did not get to tell her how grateful I am that she stopped posting all these photos of herself when she was at her most gorgeous at 20 to 25, whatever. They were just killing me, those pictures.
And a lot of that comes
exactly. I can't. I should not be subjected to beautiful young women. I should not.
Are you a retard?
It's subjective.
Your kids look like retards.
The kid.
I love that one.
I like that one a lot too.
The kids look like
retards.
Whose kids was he talking about?
I have
talking about the kids that they have under the White House.
I forget what the fucking rant was about, but I have a video. I'm doing something with it because I found it's I don't have the whole video on my PC.
All right, tomorrow.
Kash Patel's FBI director nomination advances out of Senate committee.
What difference does it make at this point? Does it make a difference?
I wish someone would get a fucking backbone. That's all I wish.
Tomorrow we're back to talking to authors. Well, Eric Burns, I think is his name, another author. we had gotten that. I thought we had broken free from the cycle of authors every day. Not that, you know what, occasional authors, but when it's every day, it gets to be, you know, we've had some more comedians on and some people with something to say, and I appreciate that rather than, let's talk about your book. Let's talk about the publishing industry or whatever. So tune in tomorrow if you, and then go out to see Ron tomorrow at Fratelli's, or if you're in the Long Island area, come out to Goccia d'Oro too to see Little Bits, which is my thing, my new thing for Valentine's Day. Or if you're in Stevens' neck of the wood, go watch him beat off.
I also have for tomorrow. I did load it up but I have a nice Karen racist rant.
Oh, nice. That's something to look forward to. That's like a 60-second teaser or a 15-second teaser for tomorrow. And in the meantime, I'd like to say, don't forget to turn on your radio. Bye for now.
Your kids look like retards.
Finish inside me.
What you wanna do, baby?
listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now. Listen to me, listen to me, listen to me now.